Go.
Greetings from Florence and South Carolina's annual conference 2023, our first conference in person since 2019. My name is Betsy Myers, and I'm one of the lay representatives of Bethany's United Methodist Church here at the conference. And I've been asked to give a quick recap of day one of annual conference, Sunday. Yesterday's agenda included registration and an orientation session for new lay delegates, as well as a meeting for the clergy. The highlight of the day was worship last night, a worship service that included commissioning, ordination, and recognition for retirees. The presiding bishop was our Bishop Jonathan Holston of South Carolina. The opening hymn, one of them, was an old one. O God, our help in ages past, our hope for years to come, be thou our guide while life shall last and our eternal home. I thought that hymn was so very appropriate as we begin this annual conference. The preacher was Bishop Sandra Steiner Ball from West Virginia, and she talked about original blessing. In her scriptures that she chose, one was the passages from Genesis that have to do with creation. And she made the point that when God created people and it was done, he qualified it as very good. People made in his image, very good. And she made the point that each of us is made in God's image. Later on, she talked about Jesus and God's blessing for Jesus, that when Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist, it was before he had said, follow me. It was before miracles. It was before preaching. But when Jesus was baptized, God said, this is my beloved Son, with whom I'm well pleased. So from the get-go, Jesus was blessed by God. And her challenge for us was to let God's blessing shine in our lives, in all that we say and all that we do. Of course, the real highlight of last night was the ordination, commissioning, and recognition of retirees. There were 5 provisional elders commissioned, 2 deacons were commissioned, 13 elders were ordained, 1 deacon was ordained, and 1 person who was ordained in another denomination transferred his orders so that he is now an elder in the United Methodist Church. In addition to those, we recognize 38 people who are retiring. I always like to look for Bethany connections when I'm at annual conference, and it was interesting to me. I learned that James Thornton Brown II, who was ordained, is the grandson of Bob Faulkner. Mr. Faulkner was the pastor at Bethany in the late 70s, early 80s. One of the retirees was Deb Luther Teagan. Deb was our first woman associate pastor at Bethany and worked with the youth for many, many years. She married Sean, who served in the Air Force, so Bethany was the only appointment that she actually served in South Carolina, but she served all around the world. Deb and Sean are retired now and live in Colorado. Additionally, it was fun to bump into former Bethany staff members. Matt Yon, who was a youth director at Bethany, is now an ordained elder and will be going to serve a church in Rock Hill this year. We also bumped into Robert Cox. Robert was an associate pastor at Bethany. He's retired and lives in Columbia and attends Shandon United Methodist Church. And we bumped into Quay Adams. Quay was our pastor before Bob Howell came, and he and his wife are retired and live in the Myrtle Beach area. So good to see so many friends after such a long time. Today we begin the real work of the conference. At 9 o'clock we start with the business of the day and moving forward from this point. So keep us in your prayers over these next few days. Thank you so much.